Welcome, Baccano,
Hey.
to Baccano. So the broadcast run has run its run, and now we have our unbroadcasted run of not broadcast videos, sort of specials, not really OVAs because they're supposed to be broadcast, and then they're like, hey, we're not actually going to do another season.
Run, baby, run.
And so this is sort of a pseudo tie-up. Not really pseudo tie-up. It's just what it was what would have happened next and does happen next, but obviously we're canceled.
Bonus content for us. The you and us.
And so now the question is what has happened and where are we in the story other than the train is now in New York?
Yes. So basically everybody has immortality.
Except for Jacuzzi and his gang.
As far as we know currently. Yeah. And we saw at the end of last episode, Isaac and Mira were both like, we look so youthful. And then they had this epiphany like, OMG.
100 years later, they finally realize that they've not grown old.
Yeah.
I like that you still call her Mira.
They all have Lasso.
Oh yeah,
They all have
Lad
nicknames.
Russo's lost an arm.
Now, if he drinks the juice, is he gonna get his arm back?
Is the magic Kool-Aid giving his arm back, or is it gonna keep him armless?
Or does it have to be there beforehand? Yeah, I don't know.
That is a good question. That is
Fair question for the magic system.
Good question.
I guess we'll find out. That's a question that I have. This I've noticed with this show, I've had more questions than predictions because there's just way too much going on.
Right.
And
it was a canceled adaptation of a novel series. So
the perception when making it was that there was going to be more and opportunity and time and
way back in the very first episode, we saw that blonde girl with the halberd or the spear. Haven't seen her yet.
yeah. Also, narrator 1 and narrator 2, Saint George of the blah blah blah, whatever his name is.
Carol and Gustav Saint Germain.
That one.
Yep, haven't seen either of them.
So, and Carol and Saint Germain must be 1932, 34.
Oh, okay. Could be later, yeah.
Like, it didn't say.
Yeah, I don't think it did. It's somewhere
They
later.
are looking at the past.
Yeah.
And I think he references the boat verbally.
Yep, he does. When he was talking about all the different places this story could have started. Why did you pick November of 1930? Why not 1711?
Right. So it might even be interesting to rewatch that monologue at the beginning, just to be like, what got touched on, what didn't. But other than that, I don't have any predictions. I hope there's some wheels.
Hope there's some wheels.
Hope there's some wheels. Hope you guys had a great holiday. I hope you have a holiday coming up. Great holiday coming up. Not that you have a holiday coming up. Because I don't know how long you're going to live. Because you don't have this go-go juice. Yeah, I call it go-go juice.
Are we ready then to dive into episode 14/special 1/something? Yes. Okay.
Locked and loaded.
Let us begin.
Let's go Baccano to Baccano.
Go.
Honestly, if you knew you were going to live forever, crime is really the only thing that you'd really want to bother doing anyway. Because working your way up through the system doesn't make any sense.
Just become king of the underworld instead of king of the overworld.
Like, so say this is modern day. You work for Amazon for 50 years, and they're like, you've never aged.
Oh.
They're not gonna sell you the company.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta take things. Oh yeah, Dallas is just been pulled out of the ocean. Or
He was dumped into the ocean.
Whatever
He
it
was
was.
put into the
right, but they were pulling him out.
right. One
one
story
of
was
the
they're
clips.
looking for him in the Hudson Bay, and the other one he was going in.
What are you guys doing? Keep quiet. You might knock them over. Yeah, you might knock them over. These are dominoes, ain't they? What are you gonna do after lining them all up like this?
What are we going to do, you ask?
You ask?
As you will see, we'll knock them over.
We'll knock them over. What's the point in lining them up if you're just gonna knock them over anyway?
Yes, that is a difficult question, isn't it?
Isn't it though?
Well, if I had to say, it's simply because the dominoes are here.
We can be the dominant and dominist.
What?
It's actually quite popular for kids to play like this. Something they can do if they don't know the rules for dominoes.
Oh, now I get it. Hazel and Randy?
Yeah, we tried knocking some over and it was fun.
I did this a lot when I was a kid growing up.
Leah and Ennis, you too?
Hey, Firo, why don't you come and play with us?
This is fun. Mr. Yago?
Yes, we used to do this all the time in the old country, but not with so many.
I would never trust that many people to work on something like this.
I have to ask.
Here's a really cool
Designed this intricate.
video with
A lot of work.
oh, I don't remember his name. Was it Matt Parker? We basically made a
It was you?
binary adder out of dominoes. It was really cool.
Silence!
Absolute silence.
And now we shall knock them down.
Knock them all down.
The fun starts now.
Yes, it does. Is it really all that fun?
I was really hoping that was gonna happen.
Ah, so tragic. Let me tell you a very, very sad story. Here.
Good job, Firo.
Day when we had a perfect chance to make ourselves famous throughout all of New York. The day when the name Graham Specter would become almost overnight a household name known to all. Such a sad story this is. If you're gonna cry, now's a good
That
time.
saxophone.
They say it's the hardships in life that make you grow stronger. And they sing the praises of life amid the pleasures of laziness. But I have no illusions or plans to grow. So why is it I feel I must take the precious time to tell this sad story? What possible good can more understanding do for me? Where are you planning to take me? I want to become wicked, singing the praises of life amid nothingness, and yet...
I was hoping I was gonna break a glass window.
Seriously injured and now taken in by the cops. What's going on here? How could this have happened, boss lad? Not only have you been caught by the police,
We got a new lassie on our hands.
throw you off the goddamn train. You can't tell me there's someone in the world who can do that, who would dare do that to you. Someone who could hurt you like that, boss lad.
You saying somebody made off with the pots?
The high-grade parts are being swapped out with cheap crap and sold on the black market.
This is-
Zacharias, one of my regulars.
Haven't been in this year before.
So, you want me to make them pay for it, right?
No, not yet. He saved our ass on this for the time being. Zachariah, he's a patronizing bastard.
But, Uncle, he's doing you a favor.
Go to the Van Dyke Auto Plant, lad. But just have a word or two with him, okay?
Oh? You mean you're gonna let me handle it?
I'm just saying, go and have a word with him.
But, Uncle, to me that means the same thing as, why don't you go there and kill everyone you want to your heart's content? So are you sure about that? Oh, Uncle?
Well, at least he's double checking.
Except for you to go have a little word with him.
I love you, Uncle! Really?
It's a very, as we've discovered, his love is very
What was that?
I said to get the hell out of here!
circumstantial.
Couple of minutes, you're gonna end up just like him. No, wait just a second. I'll try to listen to your story before I finally put you to bed, but I ain't gonna wait all night for it. So get to talking quick. I ain't got nothing to say about it. Right. You saying you did it for no reason?
It's a small gun.
Telling me you made fools of the Russo family just for fun? Nothing back door, huh? No one behind the scenes. Are you implying that I, Lad Russo, was a fool to expect any sort of truth? Anything that would get me really jazzed? To come spilling forth out of your mouth. Please don't do this to me. I'm telling you, there really isn't anything shady going on this one. Well, then can't you at least be considerate enough to tell me a good lie?
I think tires would classify as wheels. We'll go with it.
Well, there's see,
I'm not gonna
those
Rims.
wheels don't have tiles. Tires.
have to be killed by me at all.
Rims. We'll count rims too.
Grateful. People should enjoy getting killed by me. Who the hell are you?
This can't be. You want to know my name? I guess that means you're concerned about me. But putting that aside for the moment, you've hurt me quite deeply. And to wound the heart of someone to whom you show your concern means that you don't even have the slightest understanding of love. I mean, look, I was supposed to dismantle this vehicle. Yet you've gone and destroyed the car in a most brutal and unsightly fashion. Ugh. No! You can't make me accept this. But while I can't accept it, it is the truth, which is something that I can't tolerate. You're the one who put me in this insufferable mood. So you're gonna pay.
You're not making any sense.
Let me show you! I really don't like you! Since I don't, I'll clobber you! I'll beat you because I want to, you hear me? I'm gonna hurt you over and over again! What's wrong with that, huh? Tell me, you can't, can you? You should be grateful! Thanks to my unbelievable attack, you don't have to offer any more of your foolish excuses!
Shut up! You freaking nut job! What you're doing is trying to protect this thieving old geezer. If you protect the thief, you're just a thief yourself. So to me, you're nothing but a thief. Time to die.
If someone who protects a thief is a thief, then what does that make a person who was hit by a bullet shot at that thief? Something like the thief's little bullet boy!
Is that right? You just had to keep yapping and make me angry.
What a interesting friendship.
Hey! It's impossible.
Did you really think you could do anything you wanted to me with this little toy? Even if you could do something, you couldn't do it against me! You filthy little punk!
Yeah, I mean, fight on your own ground. Make him come to you. I get it. You can kick bullets back at you.
Just do as you please. No, I won't do what you want. I love killing people who are unaware, not even considering the possibility that their lives could be taken. But I don't go for killing people who take initiative by wanting to be killed. Actually, I love it when I meet guys who are so goddamn brazen and so full of themselves that there's nobody else in the world who can kill them but me.
Yep, you got a complex, so that's good.
Why were you poking your head? Why didn't you just run away earlier?
Also, the range on that last shot he had. Just,
To
all right.
celebrate our great victory in New York, Boss Lad was planning on destroying some people. And in return, I was gonna get to destroy something on a grand scale. Just thinking about it made me so excited I couldn't sleep! How ironic it would all end up being a pipe dream. Such a sad story. Oh, what is God thinking, having me tell such a depressing tale? What is this world trying to do to me? Tell me! Such sadness.
What a...
It's like being shunned by the rest of the world.
I'm gonna call him the mechanic.
So sad. So sad.
I'm not hanging around for that.
Mm-mm.
And there's Firo and Misa.
Hey, we've seen this before.
Long no see, my fine fellows.
You all look wonderful. It's really good to see the two of you again. It is, isn't it?
You sure are looking well, Misa. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'll have to catch up with you a little bit later.
Elma.
Hi. What trick did you pull to get in here? Oh, simple, really. It's smiles and smiles. All I had to do was make that crabby bunch smile, eh? To think you would resort to such methods. Well, you live for 200 years and you get a little wiser. Learn that it takes more than this to spoil mankind. The more you change, the more you're still the same. And you as well, right? So, what do you want? Only a smile. More precisely, I came to see your smile. What on earth for? Because I want to see it, that's all. Ask me to smile and I smile all you want. But what good will it do? What does my smile change? Will it bring the world happiness? Will it cheer it up? It certainly will. My world, at the very least. Go on, give us a smile, Huey. Yeah, that's it. That's the face I wanted to see, old chap.
Interesting
You astound me.
method.
Imagine you coming here just for that. Oh, yeah. I'll do anything for a smile. There's someone I'd like you to meet. My daughter.
Oh, I was gonna comment that. My daughter.
Will you be able to make her smile? Will you still be able to smile once you've met her?
That's not,
I am very curious to know that.
she ugly? Like, what are you asking here, buddy?
Charney?
Yes, Father.
Chansey!
Yes,
You would do anything for me, right?
yes.
You really are a good little girl.
I know you would never disappoint me. You're my daughter, my protector, and guardian of my knowledge. That is the reason you were born, after all.
Yes, Father.
Listen, Chane. I will share with you a piece of the knowledge that only I possess. But I am only telling you, and you will only be allowed to listen to it and memorize it. You must never tell anyone this knowledge. And you must never use it for yourself. Do you think you can promise me that?
Yes.
You are wonderful, Chane. I know in my heart that a girl like you would never disappoint her father. You're so beautiful. Chane, you will be taking on an enormous burden for me. So I want to give you a reward. Anything you want, all you have to do is ask. And I will give it to you. Helma.
You said last time that white birds represent death.
If you'd seen her,
In Japanese culture, they often are used
little experiment.
to, yeah.
Of course, sometimes experiments have a way of going unexpectedly. Your voice?
Please, take away my words. Take my voice from me.
Is this to protect the knowledge you will get from me? You really are a good little girl.
It's a
very simple
terrible
matter to take your voice from you.
trade.
A very simple matter indeed. Now, my precious daughter, you've met high expectations already. You must continue to do so. What loyalty she has. You must tell no one. And having received that order, my daughter, she chose to give up her voice for the rest of her life. Listen, Elmer, smile junkie, Mr. Happy Ending. Tell me, what happy life can come to our poor guinea pig? I'm as eager to learn the answer as you are.
Is he still there?
My duty as a scientist. Huey, I've learned that happiness is something like unhappiness. It may strike any time without warning. I'm sure that your daughter cannot escape either one of them.
What a strange request.
Menacing traitor to the U.S.
He's probably fine. He's a couple hundred years old. What were all these people doing in the Civil War? Riddle me that, Riddler.
Oh, all the people from the boat?
Or the Revolutionary War. Yeah.
Look at the pieces. I completely took it apart. I took it apart without it touching the floor once. See? Did ya? Well,
It's called the Jack.
Now what? Oh, life is fun. Yeah, try saying that 10,000 times every day. It'll screw with your head so bad that all of your pain will disappear like magic. Okay. I've gotten past the sadness, and as of now, I'm evolving to a higher stage. Right? Tell me you all think so.
I'll tell you whatever you want. You're nuts.
Beast, and it excites me. My okay brain is so beyond okay that I think it's finally okay. You guys tell me something.
My okay brain is finally beyond being okay.
Anything about the guys that came into the city right after we got here? Oh no, I don't know this one. For some reason, I'm starting to get excited. How do I get
That could be why.
Do I break it? Well, I got
Also, why does his head sound like clinking metal?
Yeah, well, it seems that they're a gang of criminals, just like we are. And I hear they've been coming and going in Millionaire Row. Millionaire Row? You talking about that rich part of town? Yeah. Nice. Oh, I love a happy story more than anything else. So, explain to me why a gang of criminals is coming and going at this place. Burglary? It has to be burglary, right? Damn! Before they get ahead of us, we have to start dismantling houses. I want you to carry out their safes, bring them back here, and then start taking them apart. I'm starting to get wound up again. Transcendentally, hopelessly wound up. I don't think it's burglary, boss. Word is they're tight with the Genoward family and they're hiding out in one of their penthouses. Genoward? Oh, I know them. They were the ones last year who had their boss and his son killed out by the dam or the river, something, right?
Yeah, right now their other son Dallas has come up missing. And their daughter Reeve looks like she inherited the whole freaking estate.
Except she gave it away to some robbers.
Guys are
Yeah.
chasing up to this Eve dame, or they're threatening her, or something like that. This is amazing. Perhaps ingenious, isn't it? Sorry, I just wanted to use the word ingenious right then.
How about this? If we can join up with these guys and then take over their turf, some of that sweet nectar can flow to us.
Yes, 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 yes. No, no, no. What sort of a weak, parasitically minded plan is that? Still no. Hell no. Can you answer?
Don't piss off the guy who's got a wrench in his hand.
Not even know that. I mean, I won't even get to break anything. Will I? If you understand me, I expect an answer. What is your answer? Nothing, huh?
You just hit him with a wrench.
I get
Okay.
you! Ah!
Clearly a sane individual.
Yes. Like most of the characters in this story. They're all very sane.
Rachel, thank you for that comprehensive report. Because of your diligence, the events that transpired
Ow.
have been made much clearer.
Thank you, sir.
Rachel, about that boy. If you wish, stop by the honey shop at the entrance to Little Italy. I think you'll find the answers that you are looking for there. And you are under no obligation to report anything about it.
I appreciate it, sir.
Strange.
Is there something wrong, miss? Aren't you supposed to be dead? What are you talking about? Hey, Miss Innes. I hope you don't mind if I go talk to this lady for a second. Are you coming, miss? You saw me die, didn't you? Was it when my head was shot off, or maybe when he was dragging me along the train tracks? My name's Benjamin.
Or that other time.
My name's Rachel. Well, Rachel, I must say I'm relieved that you're not an immortal too. So why did you come here?
Didn't have to give his name.
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin.
Well, the president of the Daily Days sent me. Oh, the information brokers. Well, I guess I'll tell you the truth since you'd find out anyway. No use in lying.
The
My
setup
name is actually Cheslaw Mayer.
and the payoff.
The truth.
Why?
I can tell by your reaction that you don't know anything. I wonder where I should begin. I guess I should start with what it means to be an immortal, huh? I'll tell you everything.
Why?
I was just kidding with you, pal. There's no reason for you to pass out like that. Ah, damn it, now I feel really guilty. No, now I'm starting to get excited.
Somebody's got a case of the demons.
Joy, or like the feeling you get right before you go on vacation.
No.
So,
Nope.
I can't really be held responsible for my actions. Forgive me.
I can't be held responsible for my actions.
Yeah, I seen this
So
guy
forgive
on the
me.
road the other day. He's got a big sword tattoo on his face, and he seems like he's scared or something.
A sword tattoo on his face. Now that sounds like something worth breaking.
The sword tattoo? His face?
There's
Both.
the guy.
Yeah, that's him. I'm sure that's him, boss.
Bingo! Woo! Now let me tell you a bittersweet story. The irony is, of course, that sweet is the opposite of bitter. Seen another way, it's heaven and hell. Love and peace. Love and peace!
Love and peace aren't.
That jacuzzi and use him to extort money from the rooster
Okay.
bosses. We make the whole thing a tribute to Boss Lad in case we get sent to prison. And to start, we kidnap this girl, Eve. Kidnapping a little girl like her, it gets me excited all by itself.
That's
Still, you guys all know I prefer older women.
okay.
We'll use Eve as bait to draw out jacuzzi, and then we got him. We can also get some ransom money.
Also, he doesn't.
Story,
Okay.
sad story,
Okay.
just like I said.
Where's the sad part in it, boss?
We're gonna be the happy ones, see? And they're gonna be feeling so sad.
Mm-hmm. So
The
You know what-
setup is that the mechanic, assuming this was a 23 episode series, would be the new bad guy now that they've arrived in New York, or at least an antagonist. I know they're
Mhm.
not all the same,
an antagonist to the characters of the train story in Eve.
right? Whether or not
So-
he becomes the big bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Guess what? Big surprise. I'm not a fan of Graham Specter's character. Compared to everyone else in the show of the previous 13 episodes, I pretty much loved everybody.
Is this
Do not like
The
Graham.
mechanic?
Yeah, the mechanic.
is that the voice actor's name? Graham.
Well, that's the character's name. The title episode was Graham Specter's Peace and Love or something like that.
Oh,
I am not a fan of his character. I don't know how to explain it because he's crazy. Every character's been sort of crazy. The way his crazy is
Psychotic.
portrayed, I'm not a fan of.
he's psychotic.
It's also really hard when
And
he's
manic.
taught. I mean, he was just doing a whole bunch of exposition of what's been going on. And it was actually extremely hard to follow. All of that too.
Let me tell you a truly sad story. Just like always, what does that mean? Only these delinquents know that. It's a simple thing to grieve for the unknown, but I'm not a simple man, so I'll no longer grieve. For now, I may be sad, but you're all happy, right?
So we're gonna have a 3-part series about him. There's only 3 episodes.
Yeah.
We just finished this one, and they just gave us a preview of the next episode, and he's in it, and he's
Which is furthering what he was basically expositioning the whole time about how they're setting up something between him and Jacuzzi, basically Graham versus Jacuzzi.
right with his own delusional.
Yeah, which for
If I
setting
capture Eve,
for,
Jacuzzi
yeah,
was like,
and for setting up this whole thing of being Graham versus Jacuzzi, they showed no Jacuzzi at all this episode.
right, and we don't really get a full rehash of. But the thing is, they did that with other characters earlier on, because the premise or the idea was that they had time.
Yeah,
So it makes sense to like deviate for a minute to talk about a specific character, even
Yeah.
like Mao and Code Geass. Like
yeah.
we took 2 episodes to do his thing, and then later he came back.
And he had
Spoiler alert! Sorry.
And he has so many, and Mao had so many threads that spread in and reoccurred later on, like the whole thing about Shirley's arc, which had threads going all the way to the end,
Which
and then the
had a
revisiting.
through line.
Yep, and then also that through line about how the Gias then was overtaking him and was overpowering him at the end there
Where
too.
he became mad,
Mm-hmm.
not in the angry kind of way, in the crazy kind of way.
Right.
Like this
But
guy. This guy's
something-
a psychopath,
Yeah.
and he's manic.
So while we're gonna probably obviously be stuck with him for these last few episodes, I don't want to talk about him too much this time. Maybe we can talk about him more another time. But there was a few particular things that really jumped out to me with this, and that was the character of Elmer, seeing him again.
I don't remember him at all. So
Really? He's the one that he fell into the ocean and the devil's just like, oh, grant you a wish.
Yeah, that's all you got to tell me. Now I remember.
Yeah, it was him. And it's just that whole episode we saw him, he was always telling people to smile. And so here he is back again, telling people to smile. It just makes me think
Right.
that what he wants, it's like, what does
Story's so complicated.
Elmer want? He wants people to smile. But the way he goes about it, I see is like what Elmer really wants is he wants
A brighter world.
He wants peace of mind for himself. Like he's going and trying to make he wants other people to smile. He even said, I don't know what his exact words were, but he even said in this, he wants to make Huey smile so he can be happy. If Huey were to smile, that would make Elmer happy. And so it's like he's wanting all of these other people to smile, and it just to me seems like he's doing it deeper down because he's unhappy as a person.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I see that.
Okay, glad those threads connected.
It
and
took
made
me a
sense.
second. I was like,
yeah.
yeah, okay, sure.
Just because even just like that, it's like, hey, I know your boyfriend and lover was just absorbed. Can you smile? Life's good. No, I guess you're not going to do that, are you? It's just, yeah. But he got a wish out of a devil for being amusing. So
yes.
curious what that might have been.
Invisibility. I don't know.
So I was wondering when would be a good time to bring this up, but there's also another point here that came up when we saw a bit of
You're pregnant? It's mine.
Huey and his
Woo!
Huey and
Got
his
out of that one,
daughter.
guys.
Huey and his daughter, Shanae. Now,
You can laugh about
because this series was cut short and truncated, I was a bit curious of the general happenings that would have continued on past a lot of these other things that don't end up getting brought up again. And that is Shanae's mother. Huey's, I don't know if it was Huey's wife or Huey's ex-wife or Huey's
baby mama.
or just Huey's baby mama that he had Shanae with. She is in the employ of Nebula, the builders of
The railroad.
the railroad and the train. She was one of their scientists. And with what the two of them had done together, her and Huey, I don't remember what her name was, but her and Huey had made a homunculus similar to Ennis. But that's not Shanae. Shanae's a birth daughter. But I know there's something going on there. And so there's much more of the, how would you say, evil scientific
Experimentation.
happenings of the company Nebula. If you also remember, the senator was talking with Runarada about getting some immortals to do experiments on, and Runarada was that now making a deal with Gandor, who's like, nope, you got to make the deal with Eve to get Dallas. And so Nebula is going to be experimenting on Dallas once they dig him out of the Hudson Bay. And I say this is stuff that doesn't end up getting covered in the show because
I'm sure,
episode.
yeah.
But
where do we hear about Huey's wife being part of Nebula? I don't remember.
no, we don't. She's not brought up at all in the show. This was
Okay.
me looking at like the general wiki outside of the story.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. 'cause
Sorry.
I'm like,
no, it's okay.
I'm like sitting here
I'm pretty
like,
sure I said that, but I maybe should have emphasized that a bit stronger.
and I was like, you started mentioning her, and I went back and I'm like,
No, she's never appeared in this.
was it on the boat? Was it on the? And so if you mentioned it, I
No.
was like,
I said it really briefly and
Okay,
continued on to
so,
all of that.
anyway.
So yeah, this is stuff that's not
Homunculus,
shown in the show.
Chansey, Huey,
Right.
Elmo.
And so, from what I vaguely can connect and understand, something about all of that is part of why he is supposedly a menace to,
Society.
yeah. Which I find something I don't know, because I didn't go into much digging, and obviously I haven't read any of the books, but I'm curious. So this is me speculating now, because something I'm curious about is if the senator in some way clearly has ties with the railroad company. I'm curious
Most politicians do.
if one of the reasons why his involvement and disgust and hatred and just like having Huey in jail is good for him is maybe some way of trying to save his ass and his connections to Nebula, who's doing all of these bad things. And so it makes
Lock
me wonder
up
if
someone
there's
who knows too much.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that I'm curious. I don't know, but I'm curious.
Have you read the books? Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything else. I
I'm
want to know more about Firo because he's the one who absorbed
Sillard.
Q.
Yeah.
I mean, we got 2 episodes, so
Yeah.
I don't expect a lot of information.
Somebody who looks up to Lad is crazy. No kidding. You'd have to be to look up to him.
Right. They're cut from the same cloth, if you will.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got 4 wheels because we counted rims and tires because we were in the mechanic shop. But yeah, that was episode 14 of 16.
Yep. Join us.
Comment, subscribe, comment below. If you've read the books, maybe you can answer Kristopher's question. If you like what we're doing, we're not drinking any coffee, but I think I should go get some. Check out our Patreon.
Yeah, we have a Patreon.
We released our first private video there. So if you want to see what it is, check it out.
A bonus video of talking after
The grappling.
Yeah, there's a public video about us talking about an experience, and then there's a little bit of video.
A buddy of mine actually recorded it.
Yeah.
That's the first bonus video. It will become public eventually, but we're going to try and add extra content here and there. And we're so glad to have you. Thanks for subscribing. We've been seeing a lot more subscribers jump on board with Baccano, which is cool. Share it with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
See you next time, a couple days for episode 15
of Baccano. That didn't
No,
that didn't work.
Yep.
It only works on the intros.